everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to the Slowest WAAAGH, where we are playing Tzeentch. It's turn 41, and we got another mostly chill turn, but we got some interesting things afoot. So let's take a look at things, right? We did Dark Knowledge, found nothing. At the End of the Rainbow finds mist-shrouded ruins and a fairy circle in Stonegrave Mountains. So this province is actually turning into quite the nice little province. We are getting 3 glamour out of it per turn, which is a very large portion of our glamour income. We get an extra 30 gold out of it, and we get an astral and earth, as well as access to sky metal adepts. So that's pretty fucking cool. Apsu, Auspex, find nothing. Auspex, Haruspex, find nothing. And we didn't get any blood slaves this turn. Not good for our blood economy. We did get another Daemon Prince. We also get to see some battles, as yes, it does look as though Naggarond and Itza are going in on Nehekara. So, Naggarond versus Nehekara. So this is just a little, rating force. We've got some Ictiids in here, and we've got some Witch Elves. So, I think we have seen Naggarond's Bless before, but if not, this is a great opportunity to see it. And how terrifying it is. So, he blesses, and immediately you can see these witch elves go the fuck off. I'm not entirely sure. I guess, do they auto-bless? Automatically goes berserk when blessed. Yes. Well then, that can be... Let's take a second look at this. Right, that can be a little dangerous, right? Because if you only get so many of them, like he did here, you only get so many of them in one bless. Now he's got 5 of them running forward out of the total 8. And they're fast, so that single turn of them being ahead is really gonna make them lose distance. That being said, this is crazy. This is fucking crazy. This is what? He's got strength 9, righteous wrath. What? And witch elves are berserker 3. So this is obscenely killy. These are size 3, so 3 per square, 6 attacks per square, poison blades. So a 15 strong damage, 15 damage poison on hit. They hit for 26 fucking damage a pop. Holy fuck. And they have, oh, actually that might be the other thing. No. Oh yeah, this one's just weakened. And they have Righteous Wrath. Let's see if one dies. One died. Righteous Wrath activated. Units' attack strength and morale increased. So, up another 3? Yeah, because these were further back. So, 17 attack, 26 damage versus 20 attack, 29 damage. That is pretty fucking intense. And, these things are glass cannon. They're gonna die in droves. But, my god, they are going to murder everything. This is an incredibly scary anti-sacred bless for this kind of lobby, right? You come into a game knowing you're up against things like dwarves with their rune guard that can take, really scary blesses, or Khorne or Tzeentch, who have these massive knights that are super heavy armored and can take crazy blesses. Nehekara actually has some pretty crazy units. The Saurus, right, can get kind of the Temple Guard can get kind of jacked. There's so many kind of scary sacred units in Sombre's Warhammer mod And these are just tailor-made to go, yeah, you got 30 extremely scary sacreds. Cool. I've got 50 witch elves. Most of them are gonna die. But by God, they are going to murder every fucking thing in existence. Now, I will say, a little bit of... Ooh, does that matter? How does Repel work with Berserk? I think it still works, right? Like, well... Yeah, because you're always going to make the morale check when you Berserk. So... I don't remember if... I'm pretty sure it's... Oh god, it's been... Repel mechanics are one of those esoteric things in Dominions that either you're really into the rules and you like learn every little intricate artifact, or you're like me where you learn them momentarily because they became important for you and then you promptly forget them. I believe someone correct me in the comments because I'm sure I'm gonna get this wrong, but I believe the way Repel works is you go in, if you get repelled, right? Like length of weapon, blah blah blah, all that jazz. But ultimately, if you were going to get repelled, you make a morale check. If you fail the morale check, you pull back, right? Like you're like, oh, that's a spear in my face, pull back. If you don't fail the morale check, you're brave enough to go in and fight anyways, is I believe the idea. And so that affords the chance for them to poke you, right? But the poke is only going to deal 1 damage, which isn't going to kill the witch elf, and then they'll still attack you, I believe, right? Is the way it works. So I don't think that would matter too much, right? I think that's how it works. Because the issue is having low morale units with low length weapons will turn it into a situation where they just get fucked because they never pass their repel checks. So I think that's how it works. Someone correct me in the comments with whatever mistake I have made, because I'm sure I've made one. Does lose 2 witch elves, takes a province. So this is kind of an unfortunate thing, right? Because witch elves still are sacreds. They still do cost 22 gold. I'm pretty sure you can produce them from just about anywhere, though, right? Yeah, I don't think witch elves are cap only. Neither are their executioners. Interesting. So yeah, you can just shit out witch elves wherever you would like. Well, not wherever you would like, but any port. So losing 2 is whatever, right? Especially at this point in the game. But it does kind of show like it's unfortunate. They don't trade well with just chaff or PD or shitty units, right? Like they're gonna murder them, obviously, but they're also gonna die themselves. Whereas they are excellent quality for taking out extremely elite units. So this is a really cool build. I really like this. It might be overkill. Strength 9 might be overkill. The Righteous Wrath is nice. I think that's cool because you're definitely gonna trigger Righteous Wrath. You're gonna trigger a lot of Righteous Wraths. But the Strength 9 might be a little more than is necessary. Especially since they already have Berserker 3. And they auto-Berserk when blessed. And they have the Strong Poison. Because it's unlikely that people are rocking around with enough poison resistance, unless you're just like a specific type of unit that has a shit ton of poison resistance already, and then it doesn't matter. But most people, when they take poison resistance, are only taking like 5 or 10 poison resistance, so this strong poison is still going to get through. And you just need to chip someone to add the poison. So going up against something like, you know, like Chaos Warriors, Chosen, those types of things are sitting at 22 protection. You're going to get +3 on the Berserker anyways. And you're likely going to get +3 off of the Righteous Wrath. So you're already sitting at 20. So you would probably just take, like... if you want to be... You still want to be killy, you could probably just take, like, +5. And not the full +9. And that would probably still do the trick. That would still make your Witch Elves extremely killy. I mean, what? We saw a Witch Elf pop up to 29 damage. So that would still be 25 damage on that Witch Elf, which is still 2 25 damage attacks that also have 2 15 damage poison hits on them. So I think probably this might be a little bit of overkill, but... goddamn, it would have fucked me up. Would have fucked me up really bad. I say it would have fucked me up really bad, but in reality, as soon as we knew that that's what we were facing, I just wouldn't have used Chaos Warriors or anything bigger. I just would not have used them. I would have immediately just been, okay, well, every fort is just making Marauders. Because a Marauder is going to kill this just as easily as a Chaos Warrior kills this, and is way cheaper, and both are going to die, right? So just produce a shit ton of those. Also, these guys probably get fucked by archers stuff. Anyways, that's super interesting. I think that's very cool. Itza attacks Nehekara. Another just like small squad. Couple of Temple Guard. Blessing comes out. These boys doing some work. Nice generalized bless. Another Righteous Wrath. That's pretty interesting. But I guess it makes sense, right? Righteous Wrath, it does really well in scenarios where, like, these guys aren't the most survivable things in the world. Now, they do have some survivability plugged into them with the shock resist, fire resist, you know, magic resistance, enchanted blood. So there is some survivability built into them, but they're not like stupid high protection or stupid high defense or stupid high HP or anything like that. They're gonna die. So Righteous Wrath, especially on a nation like Itza, like Nagaron can recruit everywhere. Itza can do their spawning pool conjuration spells, I believe. Actually, I don't think they're exclusively conjuration. I think they're all over the place. But anyways, they can summon additional sacreds. So in theory, you can have a whole shit ton of them, and you're gonna get a bunch of Righteous Wrath procs because these guys are gonna die. Itza and Nagaron going full bore on Nehekara. We'll have to try to keep an eye on that. So we get 2 blue horrors and 1 pink horror from the 3rd gate, and we unlock the 4th gate. We get 6 astral pearls, 4 fire gems, 5 air gems, an amulet of missile protection, the upgrade into the 4th gate, and we get glitter blasted. The Herald of Tzeentch. That's a hell of a name for a Herald of Tzeentch. And then, I think this is actually kind of cool, because when you get the gate unlocks, you'll get your initial gate proc, and then you will also get a secondary gate proc. So, well, I believe you do. Maybe you don't. Maybe this is... That may be incorrect information. Or we just got... Well, it wouldn't be that odd. We've got a pretty decent chance of getting the exact same result. So we got 2 blue horrors, 1 pink horror, and now we get a screamer every turn, and that is kind of cool. Unexpected event in Caverns of Gold, we get Sloth +2. That's unfortunate. In Endless Plains, we get 270 gold and +1 Dominion. We'll take it. And in Gwellenden, we find some silver deposits. Cool. Silver deposits is an extra 60 gold per turn. That's pretty nice. Sneaking enemy. We find a scout in Athel Loren. Athel Loren unfortunately finds our cultist. That sucks. And then we find the false prophet in Ophalef, so that is cool. What are we doing this turn? We are going to hit construction 7 next turn. We're going to be running up alt after that. Got a couple of different plans going on there. Most of our treasury, or a large portion of our treasury, was spent on temples this turn. We are dropping a temple in Divine Ocean, and we are dropping a temple in Cormark. So, that's a unfortunate amount of gold being dropped, but you can see our income keeps inching upward turn after turn. Very excited and happy about that. Our Dominion is pretty strong at this point. Starting to push into other people's dominions. The fucking dwarves are fucking with me down here. I hate this. But we're getting there, right? What do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 provinces. So we have 9 provinces, but I don't know if there is a temple or a lab in here. So if there are, we're getting between 9 and 11 secrets. So that's cool. Pretty cool. I guess, yeah, we don't have a cult. Preaching in a lot of different locations. You can see, right? We've got preacher here, preacher here, preacher about to be here. We have preacher here, preacher here, preacher here. Preacher here, sending a preacher here, 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 preacher here. Really trying to kind of like slowly weaken as we fill out our dominion, slowly weaken the borders around us, so that that kind of conflict goes into our favor. And I think it's going pretty well. Turn 41, I think we're doing pretty good on that whole dominion scaling thing. If we take a look, this is basically the end of the war against Middenheim, and we've spiked up sharply. Obviously, a good portion of this is just our dominion filling in Middenheim's territory, but I think we're still doing pretty good, because even after that point, we're still climbing. So I'm pretty excited about that. Hopefully, yeah, I don't know how many more temples we need to hit Dominion Strength 10, but hopefully we're getting close. Other things going on. We are doing more gnome lore now with our earth boots. We're gonna keep forging dwarven hammers so we can make a little construction situation there. We are chilling. We don't have enough fire gems this turn anyways, so we are chilling on our daemons. We've got 4 of them. I haven't renamed the others. We just have Sombre. But army arrives in Middenheim this turn. So we should have a pretty large standing army in Middenheim. We're going to start summoning screamers up here. I don't know that this is something that we're going to consistently do, but I am interested in the idea of having like a small contingent of screamers up here in Middenheim. So we might be doing that every turn for a little while. We'll see. Recruiting a Marauder Shaman up here because we actually do not have a Death Caster. I kind of want to be able to do some Dark Knowledge up here. So we're trying to luck into that. We'll see. More Acolytes in other locations, but not many because our money was kind of fucked this turn. More Chosen Knights, more Marauder Horse Archers, just trying to build up a force over here. We've got a Blood Hunting Province that now has full Sanguine Dowsing Rods. We're making another Sanguine Dowsing Rod. Just trying to kind of just claw our way into a blood economy. Slowly but surely. Dreamstones popping up whenever we find a location or find a acolyte, or recruit an acolyte that doesn't have a dreamstone, basically, or a glamour one. pretty much it. That's not a whole lot else going on this turn. We've got a whole bunch of random shit in our inventory. I've been kind of sorting things out, but this is just kind of like random gear. Not necessarily the gear that we want to utilize for Daemon Princes. But, you know, getting there. Getting there with some concepts. I'm getting a little antsy. Especially now that this war is happening between Naggarond, Nehekhara, and Itza. Because right now we have a little bit of a PowerPoint, but the dwarves are just as powerful as we are. The wood elves are just as powerful as we are. If allowed time, Naggarond and Itza are probably going to devour Nehekhara. Now, the upside is that Nehekhara's lands, being a pop kill nation, are not... We have pop kill mods on, right, to, like, restore those lands, but it's going to take time. So, it's not like they're going to immediately get significantly stronger from a gold perspective there. But, you know, more gems is extremely important, maybe more important. Looks like Naggarond went, like, full bore over here, like trying to encircle and block Itza out of some of these provinces. It's a pretty big attack. So we're going to try to keep eyes on things over here. We're moving scouts into various locations. I've been trying to recruit a lot more scouts along with we got scouts popping out to various places, running through the territories. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how things go. But we could pop into that lake. that'd be really fucked up. I'm not gonna do that, but we could pop over there. We could be like, hey, I'm the local lake collector. Can I have this? That would probably get us in a war very quickly. All right, I think that's probably it. Not a lot else doing. Mostly just cruising along, right? Our research ticking up, going pretty well. Infrastructure is pretty solid at this point. We're almost completely done building fortifications, and I'm pretty happy with the amount of temples that we have after this. Probably we'll still drop a couple temples here or there, probably, to try to push us up into that Dominion Strength 10 mark. More cultists, probably quite a few more cultists. How many cultists are we actually sitting on right now? Check that. We are sitting on 29 cultists. I did not realize we had that many. 29 cultists is a lot. Look at that. 59 acolytes, and that only costs us 334. That is so good. That is so good. I feel like our upkeep is actually pretty damn amazing for the amount of forces that we have. And now, obviously, some of that is because, you know, we are generating, you know, Chaos Spawn don't cost us anything. The Horrors don't cost us anything, right? The Daemon Princes aren't costing us anything. The Herald of Tzeentch doesn't cost us anything. That stuff's nice. It really, like, looking at your forces, you're like, wow, I've actually got a decent amount of things, and it feels like I still have a lot of room to grow. A lot of room to grow. We have so much room to grow. We have more room to grow than what we're taking up right now in upkeep. And that's only going to get better with the scales that we have, especially with the whole 3 growth thing. What's our population sitting at? Yeah, so we haven't slunk down yet. Pretty dope. Traveler's Rest is kind of knocking it out of the park. Middenheim, doing fairly well. Middenheim is actually worth more than our cap right now. Why is that? Oh, it's because the Eternal Pyre is fucking with the scales that we prefer. That's why. You know what? That makes sense. Maybe it would have been better to drop Eternal Pyre in Traveler's Rest if that's the case. But that's a lot more vulnerable, you know? So, huh. It's what it is. I hate that we have lost a magic scale. The more and more I think about it, the more displeased I am that Stellar Focus exists. Because that's not insubstantial, right? Like, just off the concept of, say, most of our acolytes are researching, right? That's 60 research that we're losing, basically. You know? Which, you know, that's not the end of the world. A single acolyte is 14, so we're losing basically 4 acolytes worth of research to drain, but I mean that matters, and that's gonna keep getting more and more as we recruit more and more acolytes. So Stellar Folk is actually kind of an asshole enchantment these days. Alright. Anyways, random musings. That's it for this turn. We'll see where we go, because I don't know what we do next. Part of me's kind of waiting for things to shake up in the world while we're scaling, but if the wrong thing happens, we could be fucked, right? Not necessarily like us getting attacked or something like that, but you know, Khorne attacks Itza and suddenly is just massive, out of the control. They already control 3 thrones. They take Itza. They take a 4th throne, but also they're just super big and they launch multiple attacks on multiple thrones, and we can't defend them all, right? Like, it's a problem. Alright, anyways, I think that's the end of this turn. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.